Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Dayspring Discussions. I am your host Sean McGahee, and this is the show where we talk about TV, movies, comic books, sci-fi, fantasy. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. Joining me again for the second week in a row, Mr. Joshua Del Angel.
The male model of consistency, is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, you know, you're touch and go sometimes. Sometimes you never quite know if you're going to show up. Kind of like the boogeyman almost. Whatever. But not as scary.
And with a little bit more love. I love this show, man.
Man, I love doing it, man. We're talking and we just chat and I get all this energy out because I don't have anyone really talk about this with you. So now we've moved from talking about this stuff at work to talking about it on air. And, you know, I can get all this energy out to where I don't have to bore people with this kind of stuff they have no idea what we're talking about.
Sean, let's be honest. We still talk about it at work.
Well, we still talk a little bit, but not as much, you know. Usually now it's like, hey, let's save it for the show. I'm like, we'll talk about this, but we'll talk about it later, you know. I don't want to talk about it at work because we're going to talk about it on the show.
You put a filter on it.
Exactly. You got to save the conversation for the show, of course. But it was funny too because over Thanksgiving break, I found out that my mom actually listens to us, and she's like, I have no idea really what you guys talk about, but I listen.
Wow, that's nice.
I know, right? Mom, you know, being our one of very few listeners, I'm sure.
It's growing. Dad's listening to it.
Nice, nice.
Girlfriend's there, so we got some listeners.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We just need
progress.
some audience participation. I think, you know, I got the email set up. I got, you know, we're online and stuff like that. So we need some people to feedback and let us know how we're doing.
Don't be shy.
Exactly. We're here for you people. So let's jump right into it. Last week I had a whole bunch of topics to talk about, but we ended up talking about Captain America Civil War trailer the entire time. This week, not a lot has happened because we've had the Thanksgiving break. Not a lot of news comes out between Thursday and Sunday, so to speak, so there's not a lot to talk about, but luckily there is a subject matter that we both have a lot to say on, and that is Batman v Superman. So last night, they had a sneak preview of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice with Gotham. Now, the last time I watched Gotham was when it first premiered. I watched the first episode, and it was pretty dreadful. Now, I heard the second season got better, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I want to see the sneak preview. I'll just turn it on. While I'm sitting there playing with Nora, I got the episode on, and it's still pretty bad. Like, I'm not going to watch the show again. And they showed the sneak preview for Batman v Superman. Turns out, I was thinking it was going to be like a trailer. Like, the DC logo came up, the Warner Brothers logo came up, and it turns out it was like a 1 minute little peek. Snippet of it was like those teasers for the trailer. Because then they announced that
the teaser for the teaser.
Exactly. So then they announced that the actual new trailer is going to premiere tomorrow night on Jimmy Kimmel. So I'm like, well, I was kind of bummed by that, I guess. But
God, whatever you got to do to get Gotham viewers.
But exactly, that's what I'm saying. They sucked me into what. Same thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. When they were going to premiere the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer, I watched an entire episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which again, I hadn't watched since it first started because that show's not very good either and still hasn't gotten better. So now, you know, I watched the entire episode of Gotham just to see a little snippet, which is kind of pointless, but they sucked me in.
Man, I guess that's the game, but
it's totally the game.
That's harsh to
because now we have it
suck you in like that.
Because last week I watched the first half of Jimmy Kimmel just to see the Captain America Civil War trailer. And that's the first time I've watched Jimmy Kimmel, too. When they did the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, I watched. And now, here's the weird part, is they're premiering Batman v Superman on Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I understand Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Wars being on there, the cast, and premiering the Captain America trailer on there, because they're all owned by Disney, which also owns ABC, which is what Jimmy Kimmel is on. Why the Batman v Superman trailer is going to be on Jimmy Kimmel, I don't see the connection. Like, because ABC has nothing to do with Warner Brothers. I don't know if Jimmy Kimmel pays for this stuff or what. Because, again, Jimmy Kimmel, I watch the first half of his show usually when I see these things. It's not that good either. So I know they're doing this to get you to watch the show, but I just don't see why it's Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, that makes me think of all the late night anchors. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
And you had your greats. Do you consider Jimmy Kimmel one of America's favorites?
Oh,
I mean,
well, Jimmy Kimmel has, what is it? He has the mean tweets, the celebrity mean tweets. He does that, which is always funny.
Yeah.
And then he also does the video where the parents send in about their kids where they ate all their candy or they gave them a bad Christmas present, and you see the kids' reactions. So those are funny, but that's somebody else doing his job for him. That's just celebrities reading somebody's tweeted and having parents videotape their kids being stupid.
Jimmy Kimmel, the personality.
Exactly. Jimmy Kimmel and his writing staff, they may have came up with the idea, but they have put no work into it. All they have to do is put a tweet, like find a tweet about a celebrity, get that celebrity come online and read it, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the market's trying to make him into this Jay Leno, Jimmy Kimmel, Jay Leno.
Why are we talking about Jimmy Kimmel?
Right?
Why are we talking about Jimmy Kimmel? Let's stop that and get right into it. So did you see the actual teaser for the trailer? What'd you think of it?
It wasn't long enough.
No, it wasn't. Of course.
But Ben Affleck is gonna be a badass Batman, man.
All those doubters, I think a lot of people are coming around, but very few people were on board when it first was announced that he was going to be Batman.
He's got the scowl down. He's got the glare. I don't know I see the effects in his eyes, but he's got the chin. He's got the angry look down. Even when he took his mask off, I was very impressed.
It was very snippy. For me, I got more of a Superman impression than a Batman impression. Obviously, being a Superman guy. So we saw from the first trailer that Superman has kind of followers, people who see him as kind of a god. I get it. And in that first trailer, you saw Batman in like a desert fighting some people that had like Superman symbols on them.
Yes.
So I figure those people captured Batman, and they're waiting for Superman to show up or whatever. What I don't get is it's Superman. Why does he allow these people to follow him, or why does he allow these people to worship him as a god? Because that's not Superman. Again, Zack Snyder, not knowing who Superman is.
Yeah, you're very much on to something.
Exactly.
There.
So
the way they kneeled to him.
Superman would never allow that. He would never allow that.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's why we had such a short snippet of it, and we don't know the context of it.
True.
So I can't really judge it too much.
But why did he look like a dictator now?
Exactly. He looked like Superman Red Sun and not actual Superman in that respect. So I'm hoping, of course, once it put into context, it'll be a little better. Because that first trailer, I'll admit, I didn't like Man of Steel. I doubted Zack Snyder. I think Zack Snyder is the wrong person to helm the DC Cinematic Universe with Man of Steel and this movie and Justice League.
I concur.
I just don't get it. I gotta wait. But the first trailer was awesome. It got me on board. I'm like, okay, I'm more into this. I could see this. But we'll wait and see. But we're going to stick with that for the first couple topics as far as diving into the DC universe. The first one being that they announced that not only is Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, of course, PG-13, but producer Charles Roven has announced that all the Warner Brothers DC movies in the near future are going to be PG-13, including Suicide Squad, which is directed by David Ayer. And I'm just curious, with a movie like Suicide Squad, where it's all about the villains, don't you think they're all going to be dark, of course.
Yes.
DC's going for that dark tone. But it should be rated R, I feel like. Deadpool by Marvel coming out. It's a hardcore character, very violent character. Giving him a rated R was the right way to go. I feel that's the same way they should go with Suicide Squad, but they're too afraid to do that because they know if they put R on it, they're going to lose some of their audience.
Yeah, exactly. When I hear PG-13 and the villain film will be PG-13, they have to be very careful with the overall theme, the overall feel of this movie. It has to be very comic book like.
Well, that's the thing too, because PG-13, that's
in order to be entertaining. I feel like it has to be dark, but very, I guess, almost comical.
Well, they have to. Well, because a lot of movies nowadays are PG-13. That's, I think, a problem too. Is all the studios, they're trying to cater to that middle audience. They're trying to figure if they put PG-13, they can get the younger kids and the adults.
Yes.
It's
a way to sell movie tickets.
But like with action movies, okay, I missed the days of the 80s action movie that were rated R movies that were very unapologetic and
just raw.
Exactly, very raw. And that's why I love the movie John Wick with Keanu Reeves, because that was a callback to that just raw, rated R. Hey, this is how it is. We're not going to change it or apologize for it. Just take it as is. It's not for everyone. And with something like Suicide Squad, where you're talking about bad guys that are known for killing people violently, to make it PG-13, I get they're trying to, keep their audience and trying to get people to do it, but I don't see how it's going to benefit the film because there's so much they could do with it. They're not going to be able to allow to be put in as far as the violence and language and stuff that you would expect from a group of villains.
Marvel hasn't made a movie yet that's rated R.
No, they're all PG-13.
All PG-13.
But there's a different tone on those too. Like they're not going as dark as DC and Warner Brothers wants to go.
So it's going to be very tactical approach in order to capture the DC-esque feel and stay within the limits of your PG-13 genre.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, damn, that's a hard task ahead of you.
It's a hard task. They're setting this like that. They're trying to get that wide audience to make it PG-13. But I feel like in doing so, they're going to tie their own hands.
They got Zack Snyder because most of his films are rated R too.
We know, Zack Snyder exactly. We know how
is he used to making a PG-13 film.
The only PG-13 film I think he made was that Owl movie. Because Watchmen was R, 300 was R.
It's The Guardians, The Legends of the Guardians.
Yeah, I never watched it. I don't know. It was about owls, man. What do you want me to do?
You're the one with the kids.
Hey, that was before I had kids. Okay.
Okay.
Anything pre 2013, I didn't have to watch. Even now I'm stuck watching.
There's a timeline.
Now I'm stuck watching, Care Bears and Sesame Street still. So we're maturing though. We're maturing. Hopefully, eventually she'll get to that X-Men, Superman cartoon phase or whatever. She's watching Lego Batman, though. There's a Lego Batman on Netflix that her and my nephew like to watch. So
nice.
We're getting there.
That's a great way to tiptoe into that universe.
Because they really like the Lego movies and Lego Batman's in there. Yeah. So I figure if I can go from Legos to Lego Batman to Lego Star Wars, that could get transition more to Star Wars, too. So... you gotta go through the process, man. You gotta go through the process. It's a very...
Speaking of tactical approach.
Exactly. I'm very tactical, okay? If my child doesn't like Star Wars, I don't know what I'm going to do. So anyway, we'll talk about Star Wars, of course, later on more, as we always do. But sticking in the DC Warner Brothers world, production has begun on the Wonder Woman movie, starring Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, which we haven't talked about that, so we'll talk about that here in a sec. So it was kind of rumored that the film was going to take place through several eras, one of them being World War I, some in Themyscira, which is Wonder World's home island, I guess you could say, and then also a little bit in present day. Well, some pictures just came out by the Daily Mail that featured Gal Gadot and Steve Trevor in World War I costumes, and there were signs saying, "Your king and country need you to enlist now," which was a slogan widely used by the British government to encourage young men to enlist for the war during World War I. And also there's another sign that reads, "French money exchange here," which indicates that these troops were returning home after doing battle in France. So we kind of almost confirmed that they are going to be set in a World War I setting as well. And also last week got some casting news. They announced kind of the official cast for the film. Some of them, not so much, but the big one was Robin Wright, actually. So for a while, there was rumor that Nicole Kidman was going to be involved in the film, and everyone thought she would play maybe Wonder Woman's mother. Well, with the casting announcement, we didn't get Nicole Kidman, but we got Robin Wright, which really, I think that's a trade-off there, honestly.
Oh, yeah, Robin Wright, she's
I got you. Now, Sean Bean and Ava Green are rumored also to possibly be in the movie as villains. The film is going to be directed by Patty Jenkins, which is the woman who directed Monster. The screenplay is by Jason Fuchs, who wrote Pan. Not going to say anything there. And of course, it's going to be produced by Charles Robin, Zack Snyder, and his wife Deborah Snyder.
Produced.
Yeah, produced, exactly. And then
his wife's getting involved on the.
Well, she was. I think Man of Steel. She was a producer as well too.
Oh,
so no one knows how long principal photography is going to be taking place. They will be shooting, however, in the UK, France, and Italy. So, first little tidbits we got about Wonder Woman movie. Josh, what do you think? I'm still skeptical, but let's see what you have to say.
Well, I'm excited. I'm kind of feeling this Thor and Captain America blend here.
Well, that's what they need to do. That's the kind of thing, because there was a YouTube fan-made trailer that came out a while ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
And people went nuts for it because it was so good. And that's what you need to do with Wonder Woman. You need to make Wonder Woman the same way that Marvel made Thor. You need to blend the mythology, because Wonder Woman is set in Greek mythology. You need to blend that with kind of real world. You need to do that transition, kind of is what they need to do. And it's all about how you toe the line. So I'm not sure how they're going to toe that line. Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. So there was rumors that Chris Pine had been talking to Warner Brothers about being in the DC cinematic universe. For a lot of time, people thought he could play Hal Jordan, which I thought was a perfect casting, because the character he plays in Star Trek, his James Kirk, is pretty much just like Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it'd be a perfect condition. So then he goes to be in Steve Trevor. Now, in the New 52, Steve Trevor actually starts off as a romantic interest for Wonder Woman, and then he's kind of a liaison between the government and the Justice League. Then he breaks up with Wonder Woman, or Wonder Woman breaks up with him, and he starts his own team called the Justice League of America, which they're a team consisting of like Martian Manhunter, another Green Lantern, Catwoman, basically these heroes that, if called upon, can take down the Justice League, is what it is. So he kind of leads that. So he's almost like a James Bond maybe type of character.
Okay.
Now if they go with that kind of depth with him, that would be great. If they go with the old Steve Trevor, he's a love interest, and then that's it.
Wow.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of Chris Pine if they go that route with
Very
it.
true.
If they go into more New 52 where he's more of an interest, that's great. But here they're saying he's in World War I gear, and then they bring Wonder Woman to present day. Obviously, Steve Trevor's not going to live that long unless they do some kind of time travel element. I just think it's a waste of Chris Pine.
It kind of makes me feel like they're going to cram a lot of. I'll try to cram it all into one film.
Exactly, because they said there's they're going to do Themyscira, they're going to do World War I, they're going to do present day.
They probably will go for the love interest, but they probably will try to make him, cool, the action hero that everybody can relate to. In one film,
I can see them going the Captain America First Avenger route, where a lot of it takes place in World War I, and you have that relationship between her and Steve Trevor, where
kind of like your June Carter.
Yeah, because in the original storyline, of course, Trevor crash lands on Themyscira. Wonder Woman, kind of takes care of him, and then he takes her back to the real world, where she agrees to be kind of as a liaison between Themyscira and Earth, as far as that regard. And I get that. They can do that storyline. I can see that happening all in the film. And then much like Captain America the First Avenger, something happens where I don't think she's going to get frozen, so to speak, but then she's going to jump to present day. And then, of course, Chris Pine's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's just a waste of an actor such as Chris Pine. But at the same time, he's still doing the Star Trek movies. I'm sure he's got other things on his radar. So maybe just a one and done could be good for him. I don't know. They always thought that, what's her name, Agent Carter from the first Avenger was going to be one and done. Now she's got her own TV series. So...
Yeah, he's been taking some weird projects lately too. I mean, Into the Woods was different for him, I thought.
I
know, I love the role. I
like that he's doing different things too. His first feature one, Jack Ryan film, wasn't that big of a hit.
That's right.
So I get that. But like I said, he's in Star Trek. That's going good for him.
And that comes out before Wonder Woman?
I think so. That comes out next year.
Okay.
Wonder Woman, if anything, comes out late next year.
2017.
17, actually, I think. So so we're good there.
Can I talk about Robin Wright?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh my God, I love that woman, and I think
she's still pretty hot.
Yeah. Oh man, she's aging like wine.
Okay.
The mother.
Hold on. I'm gonna talk really. This has nothing to do with Wonder Woman or anything like that, but I'm gonna recommend something for Josh. You ever seen the movie called Adore?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's a film. It's a total like cougar-esque film. So what it is you have Robin Wright and Naomi Watts.
Nice.
And their moms and their best friends, and then they have their 2 sons who are best friends, okay? And they grow up together. So the sons are like college age or whatever, and what happens is each of the sons starts dating the opposite moms or whatever. Exactly. So you have Robin Wright getting it on with Naomi Watts' son, Naomi Watts getting it on with Robin Wright's son. It's kind of weird, a little weird, but it's kind of hot actually too. You know that whole.
Let me write down this title. What is it called?
Adore. I'll send you the link, but it's on Netflix as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So
all right.
Check it out.
Thank you.
Okay. So Robin Wright. You were saying anything else on that?
I'm excited for her to be Wonder Woman's mother.
Yeah, of course it's not confirmed what she'll be, but it seems like a good fit for her. I could definitely see that. So, all right. So moving on, we're gonna switch over from DC back to Marvel because directors Anthony and Joe Russo talked to Empire Magazine about Captain America: Civil War. What else? And they were kind of talking about the trailer, and they mentioned, quote, "You cannot have a character called Captain America without examining the politics of what that means, especially in this day and age. The heroes in this universe operate not under the directive of a government, and that can cause problems." They went on to talk about kind of the differences between the original storyline, the 2006 comic, versus the movie, saying, "We're using the essence of what Civil War was about. The comic isn't applicable to the storytelling that we've structured up to this point, but the concept of registration, the notation that heroes need to be either monitored or controlled because their power can be scary, is applicable." I hate that word. The challenge was we're doing the story of Civil War. We wanted to figure out very personal reasons why everyone's relationship to this idea of registration is going to become complicated. That's what the relationship between Steve and Bucky allowed us to do, to get very personal in terms of why people would lean one way or another. And then it goes on to talk more about the trailer. In the trailer, there's a little booklet or whatever. It's called the Sokovia Accords. Now, if you remember, Sokovia is that patch of land or country or whatever it was in Age of Ultron that got lifted up into the sky and got dropped back down. So what it is they're talking about how the Accords are the world jointly trying to govern the Avengers moving forward. What does it say here? It has to do with the effects of Ultron and Sokovia, but also New York and Washington, D.C., examining the third acts of all the Marvel movies and saying if you could point to the collateral damage of all these incidences, would it be enough to use against the Avengers to try to control them? Pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So going back, let's just take a look at here, examining, the effects, so to speak. I mean, Captain America, I guess that's one thing I've liked about the character in recent years is he has been used a lot to examine what the definition of America is. And if they're going to do that, I think it's a good vehicle to do it.
Man,
it's pretty heavy stuff. I mean, that's why. That's
not even where to
that's
start.
what I love, man. These guys are great because given what you got in Winter Soldier, and how politically, it was like a spy thriller. How political that was, how complicated it was, how great and complex the story was, and then they're talking about this as far as the characters and everything. It's really good. It makes me excited for the film.
That's what I was about to say. It's a little surreal, man. Seeing this Marvel machine, it's turning, man. Everything is going full
because
blast, and they're getting into this.
You have DC and Warner Brothers were like, we're gonna make real movies or whatever about how
Marvel's
people
there,
were really
man.
affected. I'm just like, that's what Marvel's already doing.
The machine is rolling, and
with Captain America. I mean, especially again with Civil War and the Winter Soldier. This is what they're doing. They're taking what would be like if the Avengers, were in the real world, how would the world react to them with all these, fantastic things going on around them. What would the government try to do, et cetera, et cetera. So that seems cool, and I love that. They're using the culmination of all the Marvel movies because there is a lot of collateral damage between New York and the incidences in D.C.
How many movies have we gotten? Yeah, how many cities
exactly.
destroyed?
All the stuff that has been destroyed as well. It's a good way to say, hey, we got all this damage. Let's try to channel that so we don't have as much damage, really.
Can I just say that this timeline is beautiful. Marvel's period, the way they broke down from the first Avengers and seeing all the heroes to now we're dealing with the collateral of Okay, now we have heroes. Now we have to
We've had 12 or 13 movies of all this superhero stuff going on, where the government and people have been innocent bystanders, and now it's all coming to a head.
Yeah.
And if you have William Hurt coming back as Thunderbolt Ross, kind of saying, "Hey, I'm anti-superhero, so who else to better lead the charge than General Ross?"
It's a new chapter. It's a new phase. All leading up to Thanos.
Exactly. I think it's weird because I feel like Civil War is going to change a lot, but of course Infinity War coming up is going to be the final end all. I mean, after that, we have no idea what's going to happen, what shape the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be post Infinity War. But I think this is kind of a precursor. This is going to be the shakeups. And like I said, I think this is really going to shake up the heroes a bit in Civil War, kind of break apart the team that's been forming over a couple films here, and then it's like they're going to start Infinity War kind of all jumbled and not really with each other. But when Thanos comes down, common enemy, you got to get back together, get the gang together, and go fight.
Yep.
Put aside your differences and fight the bigger bad guy.
And that's a big bad guy.
Exactly. I want to see, like I said, I want to see him in the first film. I want to see him whoop everybody because everyone's going to be separated. And then in the second film, be like, well, we can't take them individually. We got to join back together. And
there's
Thundercats
two Infinity War films?
There's two, yeah. There's Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2.
That's right.
Which, of course, makes simple. Of course, we get Justice League Part 1 and Justice League Part 2 as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing in Hollywood now is you got to break them into two movies so you can make more money, of course, right?
Why make a 3-hour film when you can make
Speaking of which,
hour-and-a-half films?
You saw the Mockingjay Part 2, right? The new Hunger Games movie?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Yeah.
You saw it already?
Yeah. Lisa's a big Hunger Games fan, so we had to go see it the weekend it came out. Again, another movie.
It's been out for like a week now, right?
Yeah, it took number 1 in the box office for the second time this weekend. But another example of a movie that was split into two that easily could have been one, and they just wanted to make more money off of it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, all right.
So, anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to jump out of comic books for a sec. Well, not really jump out of comic books for a sec. I want to talk about this new trailer, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. You watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to make sure, because if you didn't watch it, we're going to be totally lost. So, based on the graphic novel by Seth Grahame-Smith, it parodies the classic book Pride and Prejudice, but it's set in a post-apocalyptic 19th century England overrun by the undead. Lily James, who starred in Cinderella, stars in this as Elizabeth Bennet, a master of weaponry and martial arts who must unite with Mr. Darcy, played by Sam Riley, to rid their country of zombies and the discovery of their new love for one another. It's going to be directed by Burr Steers, never heard that name before, and it opens on February 5th. So this is the second. I saw the first trailer. This is the new trailer that came out. I don't think you saw the first trailer because I didn't recommend it to you. Probably.
I saw it on my own actually.
Oh really?
Because I started reading about it. I was intrigued. I was like,
exactly. Because this is part of the new thing where like in the last couple of years you had Abraham Lincoln.
That's what I thought of immediately was Vampire.
And then you have I just read Pinocchio Vampire Slayer actually, and then you got Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So they're taking these classic stories, giving that monster twist as well,
and jumbling it up. And
but what'd you think of it, bud?
It's I thought Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. That's what I thought.
Well, it's funny that film gets a lot of heat, but I kind of enjoyed it. It was a fun little romp.
I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it. It was really long, and they were trying to do a lot with the film. I thought if it was more comical and a little bit more on not trying to take itself so seriously.
Well, that's all fact based, man. What are you talking about? That's actually history. Come on, man.
And this one is also
vampires started the Civil War. Come on.
So my point is, if they're gonna take themselves extremely seriously, then they have to make a very awesome film, man. And I feel like if you go the dark comical route. It's going to be hilarious.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that formula.
Well, you can't. That's the thing. You have to walk into this movie knowing that it's not going to be serious. I mean, it's going to be serious, but you have to not take anything really to heart. Because Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, I think it's what Vampire Hunter Slayer. I forget even the title of it, but it's very different from if you walk in watching Lincoln with Steven Spielberg.
Daniel
Daniel
Day-Lewis.
Day-Lewis, exactly. It's totally different.
They should have did that.
So exactly, it's a bunch of fun, and I think this looks like hella fun. I mean, I really didn't have any interest in this until I saw the trailer. I'm like, wow, this looks kind of badass. It's all about that female empowerment, because you had Pride and Prejudice, where you have those girls back in that 19th century. They're all about being ladies and trying to find the man and stuff like that. These ladies are all about preparing themselves for the zombie apocalypse and kicking ass and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's got that whole female empowerment vibe going for it.
So it's a good date movie.
I think so. You know, it's just like, it's the same reason I've been recommending Jessica Jones to all the girls that I know, because it's got that female empowerment vibe.
Hell out of my woman, too.
Well, some people just can't handle it, okay? I'll give you that. But it's good stuff. It's showing, strong female...
Great show.
Strong female characters that just kick ass.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. It's a nice little twist, and I love period pieces. I'm a big period piece kind of guy, especially like sword and sandal movies. Anything where somebody's wielding a sword and not a gun, I'm all about. So in that instance, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a lot of fun, really.
Next one probably be The Count of Monte Cristo with zombies. Or
No. There's an idea. I was the guys over on the Long Box Sessions, the podcast I listen to, which I recommend. They're a little harsh guys, but of course, check them out. They talk all about comic books, and they usually have some good points, even though they seem a little bitter some of the times. But I remember one time they were doing a thing where they were trying to take classic stories but give them a comic book twist, or vice versa. So I came up with this idea of taking the DC universe and mixing it with Julius Caesar, where you have Superman as Caesar, right? And then all the superheroes stab him in the back. And just as Batman's about to stab him, he says, "Et tu, Bruce?" and then the
line's already there.
Exactly. And just like in Julius Caesar, when everyone's fighting over power, after Caesar dies, you have all the superheroes fighting over who's going to be the number one after Superman dies.
The number one man. I think we know.
And they stab him with the kryptonite knives or whatever, Yeah, just saying. Classic twist.
I like it.
It's awesome. I like it.
I immediately put Batman in the leadership.
Probably, but you never know. I think Wonder Woman gave him a run for his money.
True.
I mean, she's pretty smart and she's pretty strong.
She's vicious.
He probably just seduced him, honestly.
Maybe they can work something out.
Oh, they would, I'm sure. I'm sure they would. All right, so we're going to skip over Walking Dead because you still haven't watched Walking Dead.
Yes.
And I don't watch Walking Dead, so we can just skip Walking Dead. Josh,
sorry, guys.
This is why I have you on here, to talk about...
I'm the Walking Dead guy who's not watching Walking Dead right now.
Like I said, you and Lisa are here to fill the gaps that I don't know. I don't watch Doctor Who, so that's why I have Lisa. I don't watch Walking Dead, that's why I have you here, okay? If you can't do your job, why are you here?
Ouch. Man, speaking of bitter and harsh,
you called down the thunder, well now you got it, okay?
Now you got it.
Alright, but whatever, we're going to let it slide. Just, make sure next time you're prepared, okay?
I guess so. I'm going to lose my job.
But that's okay, because now we can skip to my favorite part, which is...
Star Wars time!
Star Wars! Okay, so... over Thanksgiving break, we're sitting there watching the Macy's Day Parade on Turkey Day, and a commercial comes up. It says Lucasfilm, and I bolt out of the room because, as you know, I don't want to see anything else. So I was afraid it was going to be a TV spot, which I haven't seen any TV spots. So I bolted out of the room, closed the door behind me, and stood there in the room for about 2 minutes until I walked out again to make sure, again, I don't see anything.
You forgot the repeats. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
No. So yeah, but dude, 2 weeks and 2 days. 2 weeks and 2 days till Star Wars is upon us. It's just becoming so real. I'm almost done going through my favorite Clone Wars episodes. Lisa already went. I got the first season of Rebels from the library. Lisa and I went through that. She's already caught up on season 2 as well, so we're good on Rebels. Of course, I have to go back and rewatch the original 6 films. I'm reading a couple graphic novels, so my preparation is almost there. So we're going good, man. And so 2 weeks from yesterday is going to be the world premiere in, I believe, LA, I believe. And then it premieres overseas, actually on the 16th. Yeah, it premieres in France on the 16th of December, the UK on the 17th, and then North America officially is the 18th, even though, of course, they're showing, that night on the 17th, they're showing stuff. Yeah. So I think what I might have to do is, starting December 14th, or really 15th or whatever.
Shut down all power.
Shut down all power, man. Stay offline for 3 days, okay?
You don't have to turn the electricity off, Sean. Just
I might have to, dude. You don't know, man. I might have to. I might have to stay away because, if anything is out there, it's going to be posted on social media. And if not, people are going to, knowing that I'm a Star Wars fan, they're going to tag me in it as well. So I might just have to try to avoid all the internet.
That's kind of brutal. Tag somebody who hasn't seen it, and
that would be so brutal. Well, they're people are mean out there, Yeah. I have mean friends.
My friends.
Allegedly.
Friends,
Allegedly, but yeah. So, yeah, super excited. 2 more weeks to go. Let's get into some news. So, the official rating came out for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Of course, PG-13. However, this is going to be the second Star Wars movie that is rated PG-13. The only other one that was not rated PG was Revenge of the Sith, which I actually went through yesterday and did my commentary for Revenge of the Sith, so I watched it. My own personal edits, which I've made like 6 copies now. Josh has them. I went and I did a director, so to speak, commentary for each of them on YouTube. Now, originally I was going to do that and just post them on YouTube, but when I tried to upload the movies to YouTube, I got a nice little email from YouTube saying this is copyrighted by DC and Lucasfilm, and I had to cease and desist.
Ooh, they slapped you on the hand.
Exactly, which I don't get because there are a million prequel edits that I find on YouTube. I just watched a new one the other day, and I'm like, why am I getting the shaft? Is it just, did they just send me a warning like all these other guys, and the other guys just went ahead and kept posting? Or something, or what?
I don't know. Maybe it's a code. Maybe they use a different code, and it's something that recognizes.
They're smarter than me, what you're saying.
Maybe.
Of course. That wouldn't be too hard, honestly. So that's fine. But anyway, so I went through, and I sent out my copies to people who are interested. And then I went online, I did a commentary on what I changed, why I changed it, and just me talking about Star Wars. And I did that for all 3 movies. They're on YouTube, so you have a copy of my prequels. If you're really curious about what I edited, what I took out, what I added, I'll give you the link, and you can check it out on YouTube.
It's not just an hour and a half of you making weird noises to Star Wars movies.
It's not me doing lightsaber sound effects. No, it's not. I actually talk about stuff that I do. So
great, man. Yeah,
I try to talk story. I'm a big story guy, so I try to talk about the story, about why I did stuff, and all that stuff.
Cool.
But so yesterday I sat down and watched Revenge of the Sith. And I understand why it was PG-13. You had Order 66, where all the Jedi were slaughtered, and then you had
children slaughtered, man.
Children, younglings. You didn't see it, but you got you got the notion of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got Anakin at the end being sliced off all of his limbs, and then he got caught on fire, and he was Captain Crispy, and all that stuff. So I can see why it's PG-13. I can see why. Now, this movie is PG-13 because, like I said before, going back to earlier, everyone's trying to get PG-13 so you get the kids and the adults in on it. So,
I'm excited. It's dark. It's dark. It's going to be a dark Star Wars film.
Well, I mean, I think you can tell what it's going to be like just looking at J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies. It's going to be that mixture. You're going to have lightheartedness. You're also going to have seriousness as well. So for that, I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
I think with that, and because, I've seen J.J. Abrams' other movies, including Star Trek, that really gives you an indication of what we have in store for us with Star Wars, because I was not a Star Trek fan until I saw the new Star Trek movies. A lot of people weren't, and the fact that he did that with Star Trek and make it very likable for everyone gives me hope for Star Wars.
Star Trek was a great warm-up for him, man. I had no idea he was going to get Star Wars, and when he did, when I announced
he turned it down initially.
Oh.
When Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm, asked him to do it, he turned him down. And then she came back with him with a simple phrase that made him intrigued. She just asked him, "Who is Luke Skywalker?"
Wow. And
then it started swirling around in his head, and he's like, "I have to answer this question."
Wow.
That's why, and that again,
sales pitch of all sales pitch.
And that goes into again the fact that Luke has been hidden from everything.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in most of the movie. I don't think he's going to pop up till the 3rd act. And the fact that he's so secretive, and that this is the question that drives J.J. Abrams to do this movie, that drives his story. Man, when Luke shows up, it's going to be electric. gonna be electric. I cannot wait for it, man.
The hairs are standing up on my arms already.
Exactly.
Man. I am so ready.
And you have a lot of hair, so it lets you know how it goes.
That I do.
Exactly.
Robin Williams birth
Are you doing the No Shave November? Because you got the little.
I've been cleaning it up, man. Honestly, it's just the beard. Now it's just the beard.
It's not just. I'm telling you, man. You just need to do the full mutton chops.
Do
the Wolverine mutton chops.
I'm Wolverine in disguise, man. That's what I am.
The Mexican Wolverine, man.
I've lived a long time, my friend.
Where?
And a lot of events that I've been late to. A lot of events over the years.
You've taken a lot of beatings, you mean, because of all the events you've been late to. If I had to beat you for every time I knew you were late, you'd be dead in the ground a while ago.
It's a good thing nobody takes a beating like I do with such style.
Just shut up right now. You're done. We're going to move on, all right? So, going on, it just was announced last night that Star Wars Rebels will be picked up for a 3rd season. Cool. This was announced by TV Insider. The mid-season finale is going to premiere on December 12th, just a few days before The Force Awakens is set to premiere. Star Wars Rebels, of course, is set in between Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope, and it follows a ragtag group of heroes as they strike back against the Empire. The 2nd season has introduced fan favorites of Star Wars, such as Ahsoka Tano, Captain Rex, and making them kind of more mainstream regulars as well. And then they have new characters like the Inquisitor and the Seventh Sister, voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Star Wars Rebels ranks as Disney XD's #2 series in total viewers, with kids 6 to 11, boys 6 to 11, and boys 2 to 11. It's also the cable channel's top show among adults 18 to 49, which totally makes sense because that is the only show I watch on there. I have my buddy Griffey again, who does the long box sessions, and he has a son, Hunter. He's a little baby now. I think he's almost a year old, getting there or so. And he sits down with his son and he watches Star Wars Rebels. It's actually the first Star Wars thing that Griffey has been excited about since the original trilogy, because he craps on the prequels whenever he can. He thinks they are the worst movies ever, like some fans think. But I recommended Rebels to him, and now he liked it. Exactly. So he's like, it feels like Star Wars. I love it. So he's all about it. He's all about, it's a cartoon, so the kids can watch it and the adults can watch it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what I love about it. It's a cartoon, man. I mean, you got adults watching cartoons.
That's what I do. So like whenever I'm like with Nora or whatever, and I want to watch something or whatever, I'll put on cartoons. I'll put on.
That's your go-to.
I'll put on Clone Wars. I'll put on Rebels. I'll put on Batman. I'll put on Superman. Just some kind of cartoon that I'm into, really, because it's still a cartoon. I haven't put on X-Men because I think X-Men the animated series is too much for her. But she sat down. She's watched the little Star Wars. She's watched the little Superman with me. So she knows. Actually, her favorite is Superman. So I'm a little proud of that.
Oh,
and of course, she's almost 3. She's almost 3. She can tell you who Superman, Batman, and the Flash are. She can tell you who Darth Vader and Yoda are. So we're getting there.
Impressive.
We're getting there.
You should save X-Men for like the elementary school years.
Yeah.
That'll be cool, man.
I know, right? That'd be cool.
I think see her with an X-Men backpack.
I realize that, though, is that we don't have a lot of Marvel characters. But I'm not a big... I like Captain America. I like the X-Men. Other than that, I'm not a big Marvel heroes guy, too. So maybe that has something to do with it, but we're transitioning. But, Josh, I gave you a copy of Rebels a few days ago. Have you watched any of it?
No, I haven't, man. I haven't.
And I gave you the good ones too. I like the filler episodes. I didn't give you those ones. So instead of having 14 or 15 episodes, you've got like I think 10 episodes or whatever to go through. So I cut out the filler episodes. So it should keep your interest a little more.
That's on my schedule for tomorrow. My day off, sir.
You could get through it, man. Like there's technically 5 episodes per disc. They're 20 minutes long. So I mean, you could easily burn through that in 8 hours or so?
Yeah, definitely. 8 hours. I don't know about 8 hours straight.
Well, whatever. Just if you do one disc at a time. How about that? Do one disc at a time. Because it's like, let's see here. They got 45, 60. Yeah, it's almost about like watching like a 2-hour movie, maybe a little bit more if you watch each disc.
Whatever I do, I got to get my Star Wars prep going, man.
I've been telling you that for a while. We got 2 weeks, man.
2 weeks, either that's plenty of time for me.
Either on it or you're not.
You've been like 3 months in advance getting ready for Star Wars.
Dude, I've been like 3 years in advance getting ready for Star Wars. My whole life. Man, what are you talking about? But you have the prequel edits I gave you.
Yes.
Do you have the original trilogy?
I have all. I have all.
Okay, so you're good. So you got the 6 movies, so you're good there. And you have Rebels, so you're good there. Clone Wars, if you want to watch any of that, that's on Netflix. And then if you want to borrow any of the... I don't think any of the Star Wars graphic novels I would really recommend too much. I mean, if you're interested, you can, but they're not need to know, I believe. If you stick with the cartoons and the movies, and I think you'll be okay.
Tell you what, I am excited. It's my roommate hasn't seen any of the Star Wars films. She is not in that universe whatsoever. So, and
virgin.
She will be going to see that movie. I guarantee that. So.
Not to sound gross, but I love popping cherries.
Oh yeah,
I love popping those cherries. Yeah, exactly. Because I had several friends that I've introduced them to Star Wars as well. Same with Smallville. The show Smallville. There's so many people I've introduced to that show, and I love it when they really grip to that. You didn't grip to it so much. But that's okay. I understand. It's not for everyone. You're a Superman fan. Shut up.
It was.
You read all those Superman graphic novels. You liked them. You're still a bigger Batman fan, but I know you like Superman.
True.
So
good point.
Don't lie to me like that.
Let me just say, Smallville was too much like One Tree Hill.
Oh yeah, it was a WBCW show. Of course, they all have that cheesy factor. I mean, The Flash has that cheesy factor.
No, but Flash is The Flash.
The Flash is super cheesy, man. I mean, I love it. I love watching it, but it's got that cheese factor.
You're right.
It's got that drama to it, okay? You can't deny that.
It does. It sure does. But I don't know what it is about Flash. It just captured me, man. I love The Flash.
It's good, man. I like it. I like it a lot. So.
Well.
Okay. Well, I think we'll end there because we got away from Star Wars, so we kind of went off topic there.
Star Wars. I know when I'm going to see it. Do you?
Yes. Okay. So what I'm planning on doing too is, of course, I'm going to go see it on Thursday. If we do our normal Tuesday show, then I'll definitely, we'll spend the whole episode talking about it, of course. And by then I'll probably have seen it twice. So as long as you've seen it at least once by then, I think we'll be okay. We might even have to have Lisa sit in on this as well because I'm sure she'll have something to say. Ooh. So we might have to do a trio on that one. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
If I can give a shout out to my dad, man. My dad's birthday is on the 20th, and we're getting the whole family together to try to go see that movie. And that's special, man.
Exactly.
I mean, he did that with his dad. And
my mother-in-law, she likes Star Wars. Not a big Star Wars fan, but she grew up on Star Wars and all that other stuff. And she's like, well, I want to see it, but I don't know when I'm going to see it. I'm like, I will take you to see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to make sure everyone who wants to see the movie will go. Although I have some friends, my sister-in-law does not want to see this movie. And then my Lisa's best friend, who I've tried to get into Star Wars all these years, she will not go see this probably movie either, unless her boyfriend drags her to, which I hope he does. But
good man.
It's always funny because we talk about, I have Lisa, right? And then you have her sister and her best friend, okay? Neither of them like Star Wars or are really into, Teresa's kind of into superheroes, but not a lot. And Mimi just has no interest in it at all. So Lisa said she's not worried about me hooking up with her sister or her best friend because we have no interest in them at all. It's funny, but okay, guys. Well, that's it for us today. Josh has got to go to work. I got to go grocery shopping. We got stuff to do. We're busy people, right?
Gotta go make some money.
But we will be back here next week as well. If you have any questions, guys, of course, email's always open. dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Let us know how we're doing. If there's anything you want to talk about, let us know as well. You can always find me on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Slim, SLYM, Dayspring12. Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at IamBatman247, 24/7. And I need followers. So add me, follow me, Instagram.
He wants to be loved, people. He
bombarding me.
He wants to feel
with
loved.
Messages on Facebook.
I'm not as needy. I'm like, yeah, great. My Facebook friends, I keep my Facebook friends about 150 or so.
God.
Because I'm like, I realize there's people why do I want to talk to you? I have people from high school that try to friend me, and I'm like, I didn't talk to you in high school. Why would I try to talk to you now?
You're being very stingy with your personality there, man. I'm not letting anybody reach you.
I'm just saying, I try to keep my circle of friends small, and it's special.
You've seen The Last of the Mohicans?
Once. I prefer Braveheart. Whatever. All right, guys, that's it for us. Have a good week, and we will see you back here next week. Until then, may the Force be with us all.